We are again on location, our second time at King's Cross today. So we've got a two-part, which is two very interesting cases. First one is Dwayne Johnstone, we'll go into that. And also the second part was Mr Ian Hartley up here at King's Cross, who was very well in the know, had a lot to do with lay girls, Abe Saffron, etc. We'll call that King's Cross Tales, and we're going to go for a little stroll. So we'll see you shortly, swingers. Cheers. And the first part's going to be very controversial. It is Wednesday, the 13th of December. We're getting close to Christmas, swingers. And this episode will be out in a few days. We've been looking forward to this. The first part we're doing, we have our regular, John Killick, who's joining us this morning. And we also have another regular, his second time on, and a wealth of information too, Bevan, who's adding some information to this case this morning. It was a ruling recently on this case. It happened on the 15th of March in 2019 with a gentleman called Mr Dwayne Johnstone, not The Rock, Dwayne Johnstone. He was 43 years old. He was incarcerated at the time, an Aboriginal man, and he had to go to Lismore Base Hospital at the time, and he did so. He was shackled and cuffed, and I'm now going to introduce John, and we're going to pick it up from there and explain a bit about that. We're doing a full reenactment of this today with Bevan and John, because it was, look, a long story short, it was ruled a lawful shooting. We disagree. We think it was an unlawful shooting, and we want to go through these facts today. So firstly, I'll introduce John. Good morning, Mr John Kelly, sir.
Nice to see you again, Macca.
Good to see you always, mate. We've got John seated today because he's
three cracked ribs. Actually,
cracked ribs.
Two broken, actually.
Two broken.
But I'm really fine, and this is, I couldn't miss this. I think this is a very important
Unbelievable.
podcast. And
and as usual, the media have avoided like the plague.
Well, you haven't. It was in the media for a while, but the thing is, it sort of faded out. And we're here. We did the Ryan Walker thing, and the land French thing, when we sort of felt there were wrong decisions there, and we feel that there's a wrong decision here.
Absolutely.
We just want to highlight it.
Yep.
Point out the discrepancies, and we want to put some question marks over the decision. We're not making accusation. We're not saying anybody murdered anybody or anything else. We're saying that the ruling of unlawful killing, in our opinion, was the wrong decision.
Absolutely.
Was the wrong verdict.
Absolutely.
And we're going to present evidence here today to show that, to demonstrate that we find that it's almost beyond belief that they could come up with a not guilty verdict in this case. Now, the case we're talking about, as Macca said, the gentleman was, his name was Dwayne Johnstone, as he said, not The Rock. Yeah, not The Rock. Aboriginal fellow who was not a major criminal, but he was, I believe he was in jail for assault. He'd gone to court. He took a fit while he was in court, and they took him to hospital. Now, Lismore Base Hospital. Now, when he came out, he had an escort of 2 prison officers. He was shackled and had leg cuffs on, and then with a chain going to a pair of handcuffs. Now, I've been in those many times, and believe me, I would like to demonstrate that. I'll never forget it. You move like, it's embarrassing. Yeah, it's embarrassing, and you move like that. And it was absolutely, in my opinion, when I saw the decision and saw what happened, I thought, how the hell did this happen?
That's right.
So we looked into it. Now, apparently what happened, that he pushed one of the officers out of the way and tried to escape. And what they said, from what I read, the decision, that he 29 metres in 6 seconds. Then the officer pulled out his gun and fired 3 shots. 2 of them missed, the other one hit him in the back and killed him. Which was fatal, Yeah, it was fatal. Now, what we're saying is that we understand there's certain times when police officers, prison officers, have got to pull the trigger.
Yep.
But we think it's a major decision to make. We're talking about somebody's life. You've got to think of the repercussions of the family of the person who gets shot and the repercussions of the person who actually fires the shot, which in this case put that family through a lot because he had to go through the courts and the process he was on. But when we did a demonstration, because I know when it's impossible to have gone 29 metres in 6 seconds, and even if he did, that I'm 81 years old, and I was able, we demonstrated, I was able to catch the person in the shackles very quickly, and at my age, just able to run up and catch him very quickly. Now,
absolutely,
there is no way he could not have been caught. To actually shoot him, in my opinion, is an unlawful killing.
Oh, absolutely.
And we'd like to demonstrate today that we think it was totally unnecessary, and we think this is another decision that's wrong.
Okay. Okay. We ready? Everyone ready? Righto. Start.
Over next year, we'll probably be doing a few other cases where we feel that there's been wrong decisions, and it's not for us to get up and make a hue and cry and pursue this. We want to put the case forward and hope that you make the decision yourself.
Yeah.
You be the judge on this one, and
that's right.
You decide yourself. And
as usual, there was bugger all from the media really about it, wasn't there? So there was bugger all.
Well, we're hoping that someone picks this up and runs with it and maybe say,
just hear the facts.
Yeah.
Well, like we've said, the two sides. There's two sides to everything.
There's two sides to this, and you'll see for yourself that if an 81-year-old man can quickly catch a person like that, then why couldn't two trained prison officers who are usually especially trained for this type of duty, hospital duty and escort duty. So, in my opinion, this is a very bad decision.
Shocking.
Somebody's been unlawfully killed. And should not have been killed.
And it's been put to rest as far as
it's been put to rest.
The authorities gone bugger. It's been put to rest. You know.
And the I saw the head of the Prison Officers Union actually get up and say that he'd been through a lot, his family had been through a lot, and that he actually used to stress that prisoners have got enough room in these cuffs to be able to get up on the back of a van. He feels that the leg cuffs should be shorter. So there's, in his opinion, not only was it justified, but that we need to tighten security even more. And the shooting was justified, and I just don't think it was. And we've seen over the years that most prison officers would have used a bit more discretion than what was used in this case.
And as well, there was, as you said, there was other ways to stop this. You just grab the bloke. I don't even see drawing the gun. What's that about? Like,
they could have run up, grabbed him from behind and tripped him.
Anything, mate.
He couldn't do anything. You're handcuffed like that for a start. And your leg shut.
And there's two officers involved too, isn't there, John? There was two of them.
Right.
We don't know their names, but there was two of them.
Well, that's another thing. Officer A, if it had been me or you, we'd be all over the headlines. But Officer A.
But it's just, there's so many questions that need to be answered. And like you say, we've done cold case before with Ryan and Len Franchi. This is just another view we're trying to put across here.
Ryan Walker
another aspect
case,
of it.
That won't go away, the Ryan Walker case. And we've got so many people agreeing with us and had so many people. And there's documentaries and books and everything else out there. And that's why that was the last execution in Australia. Because it really was
so much controversy.
A bad decision. It really was. And, the Len Franchi, every week, even when we did that, we pointed out that the coroner himself would not find that Rogerson had killed Len in self-defence, or even in his line of duty. Just said that he killed him. I mean, you never see coroners make a decision like that.
No, look, it really is crazy. I just think it was totally unnecessary. And also condolences to Dwayne's family. Condolences to everyone that was involved in this, because, I mean, the officers as well. Their family would have gone through shit, whether it's their wives, family, mothers, fathers, whatever.
His family would have gone through.
They would have gone through clappers.
Look, we always accept that. And
that's right.
Everybody loses in a case like this. But
we said before, it's a horrible story, but these stories need to be examined more, I think, and
if you
brought
just
out
sit back,
more.
people complain about when decisions seem to be wrong,
Yeah.
but they don't do anything about it.
No.
So we decided to highlight it.
We've just,
and just put it forward, and you be the judge.
Exactly
you
right.
be the judge, but we would like to get a lot of feedback on this if we could.
Yeah. Mate, I think what we'll do is we'll come back shortly with another segment. Now, Bevan's been on our show before, and he's on with reconstruction that we've done of this. And we'll have a chat, the three of us, with Bevan too, because I believe Bevan knew this man.
Bevan apparently knew him.
He knew a lot of people up, on the scene at the time, and people of the cross or whatever. Many friends. So Bevan and John are involved in the reconstruction. We're going to come back in a sec, and we'll speak to Bevan about it, what type of bloke he was, and John, and we'll just have a bit of a chat about that. What do you think, gentlemen?
I think that's a great idea.
We need to talk more about this.
This is an important podcast, and I think that it would be good if you watch this through and used a bit of logic and worked it out for yourself. What you think
definitely
the right decision was.
Absolutely.
I think I should point out too that originally when this went to trial, he originally was charged with manslaughter.
Yep.
And the Crown opposed that and put it to murder.
Yeah.
And then when he went to trial, there was a hung jury. They couldn't decide. So then it was sort of just shuffled aside, and then the Prison Officers Union threatened to go on strike, etc., and said it wasn't fair, etc., and that it was illegal killing, etc., and he shouldn't be put through all this. Now, so they are naturally backing their man.
Yeah.
But the point is, next thing I heard, the decision had been made.
It seemed a little rushed and a little.
Well, not only was he acquitted of murder,
and manslaughter.
He was acquitted of manslaughter as well.
Yeah, but I don't know. If I was a judge, I would look at this and go, "Well, hang on, this isn't gelling. Something's not right here." But anyway,
the question gets down to when you shoot somebody and you're legally entitled to do it, there still has to be the ethical question of whether it was justified, whether anybody was in danger. Now, they're saying that they couldn't catch him, so therefore the public was in danger. What's the guy going to do? He's handcuffed, he's shackled, he's 43, he's just had a fit, he's just come out of hospital. He's going nowhere, he can't do anything.
He's completely shackled and
totally
unarmed.
Like a couple of 6-year-olds could have had a bit of fun with him, kicking him in the kneecaps. Couldn't know.
Absolutely. It just makes no sense really at all. You know, and what is the guy going to do? And I believe it. Copper mates I had years ago, and I knew a couple of guards, screws or whatever, and many years ago. And using a weapon of any form, it's a total last resort. It's a total last resort, Swingers. It means basically, if your life is in danger and threatened, and you have another. You're entitled to, but again, a direct shot in the back as opposed to a warning shot, or as opposed to a shot in the knee or the fleshy thigh. I just don't get it. But
and
anyway,
he fired 3 shots.
Yeah, 3 shots.
So it's quite serious.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I mean, it just makes no sense at all. But look, Swingers, I think. What do you think, John? We'll just wrap this first segment up. We'll be back in a minute, and we'll talk further because I'd like to hear Bevan's views, because he knew the man as well. So
that way we get to know what the man was really like. He was not a major criminal.
He wasn't a major criminal. He wasn't an angel either. But as I always say, who is? No. But okay, Swingers, we'll be back in a sec, and we'll chat to Bevan and John, the three of us. Welcome back. This is our next segment to discuss with Bevan, who's been on before. It's his second go, and John. Bevan actually knew Dwayne, so I want to have a little group chat there with that. So without further ado, good morning, Bev. Welcome, mate.
Good morning, mate.
Good morning, Phil. Second time back. Thanks very much.
Not so nervous this time.
Yeah,
mate.
Getting
my days from.
You're doing fine, mate. You're becoming a regular.
Yeah.
Now, mate, I would like you to tell us a bit about Dwayne. You knew this man, apparently.
Yeah, I've done a lot of time with Dwayne in a lot of different prisons.
Give us a bit of a background. John said he wasn't a major criminal.
No, he was a major criminal, just petty, some AVO, some thieving, just a lot of dishonesty.
Yep.
Nothing, nothing like ARs or anything like that, like back in the day.
Yep.
Like he'd be 48 now, God bless him, he's still alive.
Yeah.
And I've done a lot of time in a lot of different prisons. We've been trained with him, knew his cousins. I was friends with one of his good cousins and trained with him. A lot of us used to jog together in jail every day and train together, eat together.
Pretty fit bloke.
Yeah, when he got fit, he got fit. But and when they got him on the serial,
yep.
And the other side drugs, he got a bit and he lost the interest in the training and stuff. So for me that day, I believe that when he had the fit was because they had him on too much medication. So for him to even think about running, like his head wouldn't have even been in the right place.
Yeah, yeah.
So
right.
there's no way he's going to get away. There's no way.
It's a bit unusual, isn't it, Bet? Because he's made a runner and he's shackled and chained
He's just, you've got to remember, he just had a fit.
And he's just had a fit.
So he's not all together.
He's just come around from the fit.
So
it just doesn't
They
gel.
probably
It doesn't make
medicated him. They
sense
probably
anyway.
medicated him.
Yeah, and they would have medicated him in the hospital.
Yeah.
They would have given him something for sure.
And then in his mind, he's come up with this plan. I'll get past this old fella and I'll be gone. But anyone knows that in them shackles, you're waddling. You can't run in them.
Yeah, yeah.
You cannot run. Like, I don't care who you are.
Yep.
Or what world you're from, America, England, Netherlands. If you're shackled from feet to hands, coming up the middle, you cannot run. John has showed you before.
I was shackled over 100 times. All the court
same.
shoes.
Even just going to hospitals and stuff.
Absolutely.
Mate.
It's embarrassing.
It's so embarrassing.
Yeah, it is.
It's a bit humiliating, but I think that's part of it, isn't it?
Like when you waddle into a hospital like this, and everyone and all these kids are scared of you, and you're shuffling.
And the reason that you've got them on is to stop you from being able to run or do it. And that's why they do it.
And to me, like,
makes no sense.
I think these guards may have agitated him before they put him in the truck, maybe in the cells while they're waiting for the truck. The officers were geeing him up, this and that.
Yeah.
And
we don't know that. We
don't know that, but he wasn't a person just to say, I'm going to escape.
Yeah.
Because he was a medium security. He wasn't.
I've never heard of anybody trying to escape with those on a view because I've never heard.
So
medium security. Well, here's a point too. Like, what sort of sentence was he facing? You know, it wasn't a huge.
Well, I think it was only an assault charge.
I think it was an assault with a taser.
Right.
Yeah, with a
so
taser.
he could have been out.
So he might have been.
He might have been got off.
He might have been like high security then, but it would have got dropped.
Yeah.
Hence the shackles. You know what I mean? Because if you're medium, you'll wear the cuffs and they might not shackle you. But then again, I've been medium and been shackled. Yeah. So, just for that charge.
Yeah.
To put your life at risk, because everyone knows if you're in shackles and you run away, like that, to me, I just can't fathom that time, and we showed it here. There's no way in hell that you're going to get away, let alone be a danger to anyone, because you have no hands, you have no feet, you have no nothing. The worst that's going to happen to you is you're going to go roly-poly down the hill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that officer, in my opinion, had plenty of time to, as John showed, run up, and he's 25 years my senior, and he run me down in no time. And I used to be known as the rabbit. I'm a fast runner.
Yeah.
And I was running as hard as I could in them, and shackles are a lot harder than that.
Yeah.
So, and he caught me in no time.
In no time, mate.
So, the officers, they're supposed to give you a warning. Stop, or shoot, you know.
Yeah.
And then, but they could have shot him in the leg. They could have shot him in the arm. It would have dropped him.
Yeah.
They would have jumped him.
What about a warning shot, though?
A warning shot?
A warning shot he could have froze.
Well, the warning shot they didn't even shoot. They shot at him 3 times.
Yeah.
Like, lethally. Like, the third one hit him, like unluckily for him, but...
They could have tripped him over, just come up behind him.
Yeah, they could have tripped him over. They could have done what...
Tackled him, anything.
They could have what Johnny done. Like, as soon as Johnny done, and I know... Dwayne would have done the same thing. As soon as he got grabbed and a gun put in his head, he would have went like that, just like I did. Because your life isn't worth it.
No, it's not worth it.
And the part I feel sorry for is the family And then they had to go through all this judgment of saying that he got charged for manslaughter, upgraded to murder, and then he's not guilty of either.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, how the heck does that happen? And the family gets no answers, no compensation. They've lost a child for life.
That's right.
Very little media
You know what I
coverage.
mean? He's
His
lost
mother's shattered.
Biased media
mother's
coverage.
shattered, brothers and sisters.
Where was
cousins.
the family based up? Is it the top of New South Wales?
They're from
Queensland?
top New South Wales, and he has family down south as well, and like all over, like this. That's how, like, we're nomadic. You know what I mean? So, it's very sad. Like, I wasn't great friends with Dwayne, but I've known him for a long time. And
You'd have been shocked when you saw that.
I was shocked, mate, when I saw it on the news, and so were everyone in jail. Like, are you serious?
This was only 4 years ago.
Yeah.
It's not like it was 30 years ago.
And then
That's
not long after it, they let a guy out of Silverwater. This mental health guy. He was an island, a big guy. So he was, and they did the same thing that Missenden Road. He escaped from they let him out of the nut house, and he ran up RPA and that, and they shot him. They shot him dead in similar
It's
things.
happened a few times, but the thing is, in this situation, the evidence denies the verdict. And,
100%.
And not only that, you've got to look at it, it's nearly 5 years, it's in March, it's nearly 5 years, that decision was only handed down a couple of months ago, so it's taken, why has it taken nearly 5 years?
So long,
Why has it taken so long? I'll tell you why, probably to let things die down.
That's right.
You know, to let things die
exactly
down.
Right.
And the media's lost interest in it.
Because the longer it goes, the more the public forget about the case.
And don't forget the threat by the prison officers that they were going on strike.
Yeah, and they forget. Like, I remember the boys in prison at the time. We were so shattered. Like, we held services for him. Like, we sent.
Was there any backlash from inmates?
There was. A few screws got what, you know, but. We all sent wreaths to the family and cards, and we used to be able, back then we're not allowed to do it no more, but we could send Aboriginal flags with all our signatures and stuff like that, and best wishes, and a wreath for the family to put on his, but they don't let us do that in prison anymore, like that, because it's showing unity, and they want to break that unity up.
Things are tightened up like that,
It's like, it's just crazy, and I remember going to bed that night, and I cried and cried and cried. I couldn't stop crying, and the next morning I woke up, I was still crying, and I was cellmates with another Aboriginal fella who was really good friends with Dwayne, and he cried all night. We actually held each other, and it took me 3 weeks to console this guy. And he was so angry, he wanted to go on a vendetta. I talked him out, I said, you can't do that, bro, you can't.
You're just end up fucking yourself
he
up.
wanted to bash every screw in the jail.
Yeah, right.
And I said, bro, what's it going to prove?
It's just going to screw you
It's
up.
not going to bring him back,
and
it's not going to help his family. The only thing is, to help the family, is to prove that how can this officer, get charged for manslaughter, upgraded to murder. It takes so long, these 4.5 years later, when the public's completely forgot about everything, charges dismissed. With no explanation whatsoever, or little explanation. And it's never been brought up again. And it's totally bogus.
What I read is they said he'd gone 29 metres in 6 seconds. And they were afraid they were going to lose him.
Well, I think too on the reconstruction, within seconds proved that
you can't
it's
do it.
incorrect.
Well, even if it was correct, more so shoot him in the leg. He can't run without a leg.
But I think that it showed. Look, I'm 81, and I caught him pretty quick.
He did, mate.
Gave him a start and caught him pretty quick. Now, you know,
it's just a massive overreach, and there is so many questions that to me there was so many other things you could have done rather than plant one in his bag, sort of thing. You
because
know?
those handcuffs,
Pretty
literally,
tight.
they're like when you take them off, you've got grooves, eh, Johnny? And you've got grooves in your ankle, like they're biting, like they're that deep, they're indentations.
Well, forget the leg cuffs, not even handcuffs. What's he going to do?
Yeah.
Where's he going? But then you've got leg cuffs on as well.
that takes away your capability to
Yeah,
run.
exactly, yeah.
That's why they've got them, don't they?
Yeah.
It takes away all your running.
So
Yeah.
you can run with handcuffs, but not when you've got the leg cuffs as well.
No,
and you've
no
got a chain
way.
attached to it.
It's
and,
impossible.
I mean, what do you do? Say he had got away. He couldn't have, but say he got away. What's he going to do? Excuse me, I've just been at a fancy dress party.
I've just escaped from a Bucks night, and and anyone got a hacksaw?
So there's nowhere he could go.
No.
There's no one would have helped him.
He would have been picked up in 2 seconds, running
Yeah.
down the street, shackled. Everyone knows.
Aboriginal.
You're a prisoner.
Well, there's heroes everywhere.
You're an inmate.
There's
Oh,
heroes
yeah.
everywhere,
Yeah, some bloke would have pounced out and said, "Oh, I took it. Don't worry,
Some public hero would have jumped him, you know, and
yeah.
and it's
Like you
just
say, what was he going to do?
it's unfathomable, mate. In my opinion, and my opinion might not mean much, but that situation is entirely impossible.
Yeah.
It could not happen. The time frame, we just proved it here with not even full shackles.
Yeah. Makes no sense. And what we used,
that would have made me half as slow again.
Yeah, that's right.
But that's why I feel it needs to be highlighted, because if you just let these sort of things go,
that's right,
without any criticism, and the media hasn't tested it at all.
Yeah.
So somebody has to test it and say, well, look,
Yeah.
how did this happen? How did you write this decision? And you've got to wonder at a jury.
Yeah.
But, you know, I was told by a pretty smart old lawyer, he was a lawyer all his life, he said, John, when they go to juries, you've got 10 of them will be led by the other 2, and
That's
those
right.
2 that are leaders will be led by the judges.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
that's what it gets down to.
Yeah.
The evidence counts for very little in the end.
Oh,
Yeah.
it just makes no sense. And I mean, people will, I mean, the other side, whereas the union and that will probably look at this today as like, oh, we're just a bunch of wankers and we're trying to gang up. No, we're not. We're not trying to gang up on anybody.
Trying to get the truth.
As we've said, there's condolences for both parties involved, the guards and obviously Dwayne. But we're not trying to gang up, and what we're trying to do is
We think it's a wrong decision.
sense. We're trying to get some more information out there, and it seems to have been Garbo in pretty quick, didn't it? Like they put the lid on it pretty quick.
They guyvered it real quick.
I don't understand as a judge, and you know, I wouldn't have a clue.
Was there something we don't know?
Something
We don't know to justify this decision?
But even as a judge, just to sit there and look at this, for me, I'd go, hang on, even before we start, one of this doesn't make sense. You know, it doesn't make sense.
No, that's right.
It's like they were going like he had a weapon or something like that.
Yeah.
Like he had no weapon. It was just.
Yeah.
And his headspace would have been off with the pixies. He wouldn't have been in his right frame of mind.
It just seems that there was 100 other things you could have done, bar this sort of thing. You know, it's just it's crazy, isn't it? But well, look, have you got any more thoughts to add there, John? With that, I mean, we've got the reconstruction, and by the way, Swingers, the reconstruction we did, we don't have handcuffs. I believe you've got to have a security license to have handcuffs.
It's illegal to have handcuffs now.
Yeah, exactly. So we didn't have handcuffs. It was plastic chain, and the gun obviously wasn't real. I bought that at a op shop 20 years ago, and it's an old theatre props gun, which I don't believe it had caps, and I don't believe it's been fired
starting
since,
this one.
something like that, and I don't believe it's been fired since about 58, 60. So it's rusted in. Nothing was real. They're props, and they're completely lawful. So, but doing the chain worked out quite good because it shows how, and I did it fairly tight, Fed, but you said in life it's tighter.
A lot tighter.
A lot tighter. So I just don't see how it all,
we see there are so many podcasts and crime podcasts, not just Australia, right around the world, and people love them. They watch them, and people, they're pretty smart. They know the score now. They know the drill, and you know they know about forensics. They know a lot of things. I see another true crime club that those people get up there making comments. They're pretty spot on. So what we're saying is have a look at what we put forward. Have we missed something here? Yeah. Because you know the way we see it, we're saying that this is a wrong decision that has not been criticised. Nobody's going. You can't sit in court with it. You know, it's a verdict by the jury, and you can't
one
challenge
of those
it.
ones that
I'll
need
be
to be looked
opinion
at
based,
again.
mate.
Yeah.
Isn't it though? It's one of those things that should be looked at again, but I don't think it ever will.
100%.
I don't think it
well,
ever
hopefully
will.
public opinion may sway it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
It should be looked at again
only
because
the
it doesn't
Crown.
make sense.
Only the Crown could appeal.
Yeah.
They won't, and they'd have to appeal on a ground that very rarely gets in. Would be that that the verdict was so wrong.
Yeah.
You know, demonstrably wrong.
Yep.
That it needs to be looked at again, and that's not going to happen. They're not going to do that.
No.
That's why we've highlighted this.
Absolutely, mate. Bev, any final thoughts for you, mate, on this?
Yeah.
We're just touching on this today.
Yeah,
as we said, Swingers, we have a part 2 with another guest coming up shortly, so it's a fairly long one.
There is. I'd like to say one thing to.
Sure, mate, please.
I'm sorry, Aunt. I hope this sheds some sort and brings you some sort of solace, and to all your cousins and nephews and uncles out there.
And there are people who care.
And the same way, I hope that what we've done today brings you some sort of solace in knowing that what you believe to be true is true.
Yep.
And hopefully the fight can go on.
Yeah.
I really hope and pray that for you guys.
That's right, mate. We want to bring a bit of attention to it and see where it goes from there, because it's just one of those things, and we've done controversial. We like to do a bit of controversial just to get some extra facts out there. A few things, John, before we go into part 2.
Yeah, I'd just like to say thanks for inviting me. I thought this was an important one today, and we made every. Believe it or not, I was actually in hospital yesterday, and
I know,
out of hospital.
Well, mate, I've told you to
here today,
stay out of them bar fights, mate.
And he rang me and still said he was coming and he wasn't missing it.
I tried to talk as well, yeah. As we said before, Swingers, he's bruised, he's got one cracked and 2 broken ribs?
2 broken, 1 cracked, but look, I had to be here for this one today, and what I would like to say, I'd like to preempt it and say that next year we'll be looking for more cases where we feel that the system's got it wrong, and we feel that Ryan and Walker definitely, Liam Franchi definitely, and this one.
That's right.
And
and they've shown interest. Those ones have done all right. The viewers are interested. The Swingers are interested in these sort of things, as we are.
Well, Ryan and Walker changed the system. The Ryan case changed the system in Australia since.
That's right.
Because they got so wrong.
Yeah.
And before him, there were a lot of executions around that time. I mean, you had the guy called Cook in '64. He was a model murderer, and then you had in '65 you had the guy in South Australia. So you don't hear about those ones. You don't hear about those.
Yeah.
64, 65.
Actually, you don't.
Executions.
No.
And
there's some food for thought there as well.
Well, Cook was a monster. Cook was a monster, and 2 guys got convicted for murders that he committed, and he later admitted he. So
that's something.
So and then of course the one in South Australia, no one even knows his name, but he was the second last man executed in Australia.
What executions? If we go back to the colonies, I think there was there 11 or 12 women were hung as well?
Well, you have a look at in 1951, Julian Lee and her 2 cohorts were hung on the same day. They put her in a chair and dropped her through the trap because she was so drugged up and frightened that she couldn't stand up. And that's she's the last woman executed in Australia, and that was a Penrith.
That would have been a pretty quick snap too, and fucking horrible.
But horrible way to go, and to think that we're that barbaric that we do something like that.
And after jail in Melbourne, where that MCL where they used to drop them. Oh my God.
Yeah, well the old Melbourne jail. That's where Ned Kelly was hanging. But what the point I'm sort of making is that the 65 one, the 64 one, you don't hear much about. Although Cook did cause a bit of a stink because he killed a lot of people, but over in West Australia. But the fact is, with Ryan, because it was so wrong, they've achieved something that it's the last one. And if we put forward cases where maybe there's wrong decisions, then it may help change the system.
Yes.
So these things don't happen again.
Exactly.
So we'll be looking at others.
Oh, we're definitely going to look at others, John, and we're going to bring forward this stuff and talk about it. And we should be entitled to talk about it, mate. We're in a democracy, or pretend democracy these days. But so we should be entitled to do this. So anyway, gentlemen, we're going to go into the second part. Bevan, thank you very much, mate, for coming in. John, thank you very much. Swingers, we will be back shortly for a part 2. Thanks, Marcus. We'll be back shortly for a part 2, and and we'll be back very shortly. G'day Swingers, and welcome back to part 2 today. I have a gentleman, Mr Ian Hartley, who's very well known, musician, curator, publisher, writer, etc, etc. So welcome Ian, good morning and welcome. Back to the old stomping ground. You can't recognise it, mate, it's just changed so much. We'll make the streets. I know, it's unbelievable. They've kind of eradicated the whole area.
They've made the sky more.
Yeah, they have. But mate, Ian, we're standing where Lay Girls was. You can tell us a bit about your input with Lay Girls and Abe Saffron. And we're calling this one King's Cross Tales Swingers. So Ian's had a hell of a lot to do with this area. We're going to do a little bit of walking around and show where some old clubs and etc. were, Ian. So mate, if you want to tell us your situation when you started at Lay Girls, and take it away.
Well, what happened was I was walking up the street and I saw a sign on the door of Lay Girls.
Yep.
Wanted people to have parties at Lay Girls, you know, like, and I thought I did.
Your ears are pricked up.
Yeah. So I went in and I saw the guy's name was Keith Parsons, and he used to run Capricios in Oxford Street, but he also ran Lay Girls, but he'd been at Lay Girls for 20 years, something like that.
Yeah, right.
Along the line.
Yep.
And I went in there and I said, oh, well, I don't really want to do a night, but I just want to know what you're doing. And he said, I want someone to run it so that it isn't Lay Girls anymore because it's not working. And, but Abe doesn't want it to be a strip club or anything because it will kill all the other strip clubs because it's so big and great.
Yeah.
And it's like got the old stage, the curve.
Change the whole persona, like a party place.
Up the cross.
Yep.
So what I want you to do is run it so that it doesn't interfere with all my other enterprises.
Yeah, right, yep.
So, and I started doing it, and then when I started doing it, I put in this thing called the Tender Trap, which is a lounge, music club, and I did all these things. But and it had a disco upstairs called the Carousel.
Yes.
And but
that was pretty popular, the Carousel.
Yeah. And Abe, I used to have to meet him every Wednesday, and we'd have a cup of coffee in the Carousel, which had gallery windows and view the cross, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and so you'd look down, you could see people selling drugs and little balloons. And
Yeah. You could see a lot from the elevated height. Yeah.
And he just came and checked on me every week. We had coffee and we talked about how things are going. And I made it really successful for him. He really liked it. And the thing was that the police were always on to me all the time. They'd come there all the time and say, "Who runs this place?" You know, and they'd want to see
Who's the boss?
They wanted me to get rent receipts.
Yep.
Which I said, I don't see rent receipts. I'm just a consultant. I don't know anything about that. Blah, 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 blah. But look out the window. There's people selling drugs. You could arrest them.
Yeah.
They said, let's stop avoiding these questions. And I said, three guys down there.
Exactly, it's right in front of you. There's crimes happening in front of you. Yeah, you don't want to know about it.
And then that guy had it in for me, but he didn't do anything. But later on, I encountered him somewhere else that I was doing, and he said, "You thought Lay Girls was bad. You ain't seen nothing yet. What I'm going to do to you this time."
Yeah,
But in the end, he just disappeared. But I don't know where he went. And he probably just went somewhere else.
Yeah. No.
But that was Lay Girls, and it was really sad that it's gone because it was an iconic building, and it
Like King's Cross was the whole thing sad. I think.
No, you know, I have got footage of Lay Girls, like and it's really kind of it's just so. It's so horrible what they've done. It's all about real estate, and it's all about
real estate. There was a few idiots with the punches, the one punch thing, and a few fucking idiots. But to basically just strip the whole joint of so much history down here, and like yourself, I loved the cross, mate. The girls, it was all part of.
Yeah. Well, I knew Charles Batage, who used to run the Cauldron, right?
Right. Yeah.
And he, with a friend of mine, opened a cafe in Kellett Street.
Yep.
And they opened it on the week that they did the lockdowns, and they made them have an officer, a licensing officer, be in their bar all the time.
Yeah.
Destroyed the business, and they lost all this money. That was the end of them. But that was like in a matter of 5 weeks. They just destroyed everything.
Ruined everything. It
was down all the way.
How did you find Abe, mate, yourself?
I found him to be a really, really nice
sociable
guy.
sort of guy. He was only not a big bloke like myself.
He had a Star of David around his neck, which he always fondled while he was talking to me. And he reminded me of this movie called Soylent Green with Charlton Heston, which is about the end of the world. And
love Charlton.
And Edward G. Robinson was in the movie.
Right.
When he was really old. It was his last movie. And he so reminded me of Abe Saffron, so reminded me of Edward G. Robinson when he was older. And it was this really weird connection that he had.
Interesting,
reputation
yeah.
And he mutated into Edward G. Robinson.
Isn't that interesting? And he was feared, and a lot of people said he was a gangster and this and that. Well, he probably did gangstery things, and he had that protection. But I wouldn't say it was like the hardcore.
He was like a landlord.
Yes, he was a property developer, an intelligent man. He made a lot of money.
And the thing where it all went wrong for him is there was a backpackers in just on the corner over there.
Yeah.
And there was a fire, and somebody had left a mattress in the stairwell or something. It was like an accident. But that was the beginning and the end. I think they just kept going.
And that can lead me straight into Luna Park as well. The controversy there as well. I don't think that was.
I knew Martin Sharp.
It was not intentional, but it got some idiots to do it. But
Well, I was sort of the girl who did that documentary, Caro Melbourne.
I found that fascinating. I think it was on about a year ago.
I talked to her occasionally.
Yeah,
she wanted to do something on this, but she she got really signed. But
I found the documentary pretty good. It was very interesting. Yeah.
And I knew Martin. He was really obsessed about Luna Park because he was renovating Luna Park at the time.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And it sort of destroyed him in a way because he felt responsible somehow, but I don't know how. But it was a sort of weird one.
Yeah. No, look, I've heard. I never met Abe Saffron. Yeah. Oh, there was a lot of fires at the time. A lot of insurance policies. But no, I never met the man. I'd seen him, but I'd never met him. I didn't know him, but I've heard so many mixed things. And to me, he was like a businessman, and you didn't fuck with him. Like you don't turn on his toes too much.
Well, the guy that ran Les Girls, he really loved it. He was partying all the time.
Abe had a gentleman that used to collect.
Yeah, what's his name?
Big fella.
I know
he ended up running to Thailand.
Michael.
Yeah, big fella carried a gun and he had a bit of a fearsome reputation.
He used to hassle the people in Arkansas.
He was really a bit of a standover and whatever. And apparently I think he's passed now, but he was last in Thailand. He took off too. So. But mate, at this point, I think we'll go for a bit of a stroll. And I'd love you to point out a few other things because he was here, this gentleman, in the Golden Mile, in the golden days of the Cross Swingers.
Actually, but there is a YouTube of me being interviewed by the ABC at the Yellow House.
Yeah,
from
right.
1972, if you want to use it.
I'll have a squiz of that. Yeah. Thanks, Ian. Okay, Swingers, we're going to go for a quick stroll and we shall return shortly. Cheers. G'day, Swingers, and welcome back. Ian's with us.
Right.
And we're still here. He's a good man.
But it's only a couple of minutes.
Yeah, it's and so we're just going around showing a few spots, and the particular spot we're at now, Ian,
is that's Sweethearts, where people have sung
breakfast at Sweethearts,
Old Chisel, all these things, and everybody used to go there because it was a cheap place. In fact, King's Cross was full of little cafes,
great little eats and
like
coffee
the Astoria and all these places, and they're like workers' cafes.
Yeah, that's right.
You go and you get bangers and mash.
Yeah.
And you get like fried rice or stuff like that.
Yeah,
in fact,
a
around
mixed
the
grill
corner in Roslyn Street, there is a
down here. Yep.
Yeah, I used to go to a place called Full Meals, a Chinese restaurant.
Fantastic.
Meals. And then when the guy died, his son took it over and called it Yung Fung's.
Right.
And everybody used to go there too.
Yeah.
It's like,
nothing fancy, but great food and great atmosphere.
But I remember going to a party in the Clay Street as well, in 66 or 5 or something, and the Rolling Stones were there. And I met Brian Jones.
McRae Street.
I met Brian Jones, blah, blah, blah. We talked about
You're getting this Swingers, Rolling Stones, so it was what, 65, 66?
65, they were staying at the Silver Spade, which is the old, what was it, the hotel there.
Seawall?
No, the hotel.
Oh, gazebo?
No, it's only down McRae Street.
Doesn't matter,
It was called
yeah.
the Silver Spade.
Yeah.
And at the Silver Spade, and that's where they stay.
Wow.
It was like, and where the gazebo is used to call Chevrils.
Yep.
And Billy Thorpe used to live in Chevrils, and all these other people. Chevrils is like this mad, round building that wasn't, well, it's only 3 stories tall, but it was just full of musicians and artists.
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Yeah.
Totally crazy.
Yeah.
It's called Chevrils.
Isn't it fantastic? Well, the gazebo itself,
Well, they kept the round.
Yeah.
They kept the round thing.
This is the thing, though. There's so many stories, folks. There's so many stories of this area and its history. John Kellick was saying he loved it up here in the 60s. He said it was the best place. I was more sort of late 70s and 80s was more my time there. So some people waving at us then. Sorry.
There used to be like a record shop there.
Yeah.
There was like next door to that, so you go and buy records.
Really great stuff. Well, I think we should keep on the move, Ian, because we want to chat a couple of strippies.
Yep.
And did you want to point something else out while we're here?
No, that's there used to be a King's Cross Waxworks.
I remember. So my biological father, I call him sperm donor. He's either dead or extremely tired. I don't care either way. But we went to the King's Cross Waxworks. It was very good.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it?
And then he took me to a theatre, and we saw Baz and Mackenzie.
Oh, the Metro.
Yeah, Baz and Mackenzie, and it was rated R, and somehow he was in the know a bit, and he got me in. I was, I don't know, 8, 10.
Well, it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad. It was fucking hilarious.
Carry on moving on.
It was a great version of the Fosters, but Baz and Mackenzie, mate,
Yeah.
Barry Crocker, Adventures of Baz and Mackenzie, and he's still going. He's in his 80s.
Well, when I ran the Q Bar, which is in Oxford Street, I used to get Barry Crocker to walk up. I walked him up every New Year's Eve, and he surprised everyone at New Year's Eve by singing Neighbours.
Yeah, that was huge for you.
And I gave him $1,000.
Yeah, good on you.
Sing Neighbours, and it was like the highlight of his whole year. Every year he got to sing Neighbours.
I've heard he's not that bloke.
No, he's
a very
nice
tall
guy,
fella.
Really nice guy, but I don't know what he's doing yet. But he lived in the North.
He's still going. My mother heard him on 2GB. His mum's in her 80s, and she heard him not just recently and said he still sounds good. Yeah, so
he lived in the North, which is where the Paris Theatre is.
Yeah, right. I know where it is. Yeah. Ah, fantastic.
Guys, do the Paris Theatre.
Wealth of information, this gentleman. Well, Swingers, we're back on the move. We'll be back in a sec.
We'll try to keep it interesting.
Yes, we will. No, it'll be fine. Good on you, mate. See you. G'day, Swingers, and we're back. This is our third little spot here. We're doing along the cross. Ian's with us again, and there's bugger all sex-wise here. There's a bookshop across the street here, and there's a gentleman's club just up here. But basically, we've stopped here because this was loaded. This was loaded, Swingers. Because we think around here where this gentleman's, a couple of big fellas standing outside where this club is here. Also, there was another one I frequent at Madame Butterflies, which I think was somewhere between here and here. It's changed so much here, hasn't it? It's hard to. We're trying to pinpoint locations, but it's very hard. What's your thoughts along here? There was a lot of brothels.
Yeah, there were 3 other strip clubs, and there was Pink Pussycat. There was, I can't remember the other one, but there was quite a few. There were quite a few, and they all had the light bulbs.
That's right, you had your spruikers out in the front. Come on in, come on in! You know, we can do a deal for you. We can rip you off.
They usually did that.
Yeah, they did. But along here as well, I don't know if you want to see, Marcus, along here as well, they had a lot of basically working girls and brothels.
Yeah, that's right.
And they would basically, just hang from the door like such. We'll give you a demo.
He's going to demonstrate.
A lot give you an idea, that's what it was along this strip. You know, as Ian just said, it's hard to pinpoint everything because basically the whole suburb has had a facelift, which we were saying is quite sad, mate, as well.
It is sad. It's because the facelift isn't very good as well.
No, it's not.
It's not like it's like...
You can have like a couple of towers here or something.
Yeah, but it might be a facelift, but it's a really terrible facelift.
It is a terrible facelift, mate. I mean, it benefits the construction company, whoever they are, and
like there's no
property developers.
There's no bookshop, there's nothing.
And walking along here, Swingers, that's the only two sort of sex industry stuff that we can see. Is at a gentleman's club here, which is I worked at one as a strip joint, and across the other side of the street was a Club X magazine. But honestly,
Clay Street was interesting.
It was just wonderful. And once you left here, there's the King's Cross Hotel, Swingers down on the right, and got onto William Street. The walk down from William Street, whether you got a girl or not, was a lot of fun.
It was just cardio.
But yeah, that's right. And they had a tattoo. There was a tattoo place here for years. Yeah. Very fancy shit. Fuck, that must have some security. But and there was a tattooist that was down there for years. But whether you wanted a girl or not, it was just fun. And they were dressed up like bunny girls and things like that. It was really fun, and we miss it. But anyway, we'll finish off shortly with just one more location. Have you got any suggestions, Ian?
I mean, there'd be nothing to look at. You know,
that's
like,
right. We can only sort of say, can't we?
Clay Street, Clay Street used to have this Sheridan Hotel. The Beatles stayed there.
Yeah, wow.
On the other side of the road there was this other hotel, and the Rolling Stones stayed there.
Yeah.
It's like.
What was your experience? You were saying earlier you met the Rolling Stones.
Well, I was invited to a party in a apartment block in Clay Street, and I just went up there, and I was coming home from somewhere, and there was a party for the Rolling Stones, and I just met the Rolling Stones. But I basically spent most of the time with Brian Jones, who got along, but I didn't really talk to the other Stones when they were there. But that was the kind of thing that would happen all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's where everybody came. You know, everybody would come here. I mean, I remember having a joint with Bo Diddley in the Clay Street.
Oh, Diddley! He was a legend, American.
It was like no big deal. Like they were just.
He would blues and
everybody would come here. Everybody came here.
Unbelievable. I also was told a story years ago. Vincent Price, the famous actor, went to lay girls, I believe, with his missus. I read an article about that, and they said he was a really lovely guy, real gentleman, and Vincent Price was a famous actor who played creepy movies and he had the brilliant creepy voice. And
there's the Roosevelt Club as well in Wall Street where James Saffron's.
I've heard the Roosevelt. Wow.
It still looks the same.
Not far from here.
Yeah, it's not far from here.
Let's go and have a look.
Yeah, and next to it's a Minerva Apartments.
Yeah.
Which was connected to the Minerva Theatre, which became the Metro Theatre.
Yep.
And it was all where all the theatre people used to live, and Peter Finch had an apartment there and stuff like that.
Wow.
And
Peter Finch was a famous actor.
Yeah, and I lived there for a few years.
Yep.
And I was living in Peter Finch's old apartment. It was like,
shit.
Well, obviously he was long gone, but it was a very strange experience.
Yeah.
To have a bath.
Fucking hell. Fantastic. Alright, well look, I think we'll just finish off with another little look at the cross, and we'll move on one more time, and then we'll give everybody a rest. Yeah, we'll give everyone a rest. We'll see you again shortly, Swingers. Ian is still with us. This is our last little location bit on the cross. We're outside the King's Cross Hotel, which we were saying that famous movie, Ian, years ago.
They're a weird mob.
They're a weird mob.
And they stayed at the Hampton Court.
Hampton Court, that's right. And that was prestigious back then. Is it still there?
It's still there.
When I was there, it was a dump. But it's a dump now.
Yeah. It still might be called a dump.
Yeah, but in the day, the Hampton Court was a really flashy hotel in this area. And of course the boulevard down the road.
But I remember when I used to live there in the early or mid-60s, like I was born there. Yeah, but we used to always laugh because all these people, there were no trains here, right?
Yeah.
So all the suburbans would come walking up William Street to beat up the long-haired people. And they'd beat each other up.
Yeah.
And they'd think each other group was from King's Cross. So they'd all just fight amongst themselves. Everybody who lived there was just going,
fucking hell.
it's pretty mad. I think they even wrote about it.
Yeah, yeah. You lived in the area for years.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I used to live in Victoria Street.
Yeah, it's a fantastic. I miss it, mate.
We used to have like an attic for 10 years.
Across here.
Yes.
While we're here, so we've got the big Coca-Cola sign near us,
which is not the way it used to be.
Yep. So what was here originally, Ian? The pink
was the pink pussycat.
The pink pussycat originally, and then it moved.
And they had like the orange spot and all these places that are open late at night where you can buy food.
Yep.
And nowhere in Sydney could you go and buy something after 3. So after midnight, actually.
Yeah.
But these things are open like all night, all day.
And that's the sad part of Sydney now. There's fuck all open. Yeah. If you want to party all night, swingers, you got to go to the casino. And I'm sorry, it's not my fucking cup of tea.
Yeah,
you know.
It's not conducive to party.
Yeah. It's just, you know, I'm not a gambler, but it's boring, and it's, you know, you have free drinks and they're saying, you know, you've drunk too much, piss off. Like, really?
I remember in about 70, a friend of mine called LSD Fog, his name's Roger Foley, the council hired him to set up all these light shows on top of this hotel.
Oh, how cool.
Directed on the Coca-Cola side.
Oh, how cool.
All these bubbles and psychedelic.
LSD bubbles.
Yeah, and it was just like, this insane
He's
thing.
probably the man to talk to.
Yeah, he's still around.
Is he really?
Yeah, I spoke to him a couple of days ago.
Oh.
But he,
we might have to have a chat with him one time.
But it's totally, it's just changed so much because it was all, they understood the culture of what it was.
Yes, yes. And it was a red light district, it was a party district.
Norton used to live here, the witch.
Wow.
The witch of King's Cross. And
I know about her too, and she frequented a lot of cafes and things.
I was walking down Brougham Street once, and I saw this sexy behind, dragging something upstairs, and I thought, oh, I'll help this person. And I went up and I started helping. She turned around, she had like all mangled teeth, and it was Rosalind Norton.
Oh shit!
And she let me stay underneath her stairs for a couple of days. But
she sounds okay.
She was an okay person, But she used to frequent this place all the time. She got her teeth mangled by dentists. She got it done so she
intentionally.
Yeah, so she'd look more witchy.
Oh fuck! She's passed. I take it. Yeah, a long time ago.
80-something.
I saw a bit of a doco with her, and there was people that liked her, and there was people that fucking bagged her and hated her, and so.
Yeah, so it's quite controversial. But there is a movie called The Glittering Mile. Have you ever seen it?
No, I haven't.
I'll find it for you and I'll send it to you.
Yeah,
and it's a documentary. It's an hour long.
Yep.
Made on King's Cross in about 1960.
Oh, I'd love it. I'd love it.
And it's got, she's in it. They're all in it. It's just been beautiful.
What's going? Does anyone know what's going in here? Or
above it, that's a club. Where the guy got hit. Yep. That time and caused the lockout laws. It used to be called, I can't remember, now it's called like Darts or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Unbelievable, isn't it? Over here, Marcus, we just go is William Street, where you used to go down, and we were just saying Ian a minute ago, you'd walk down William Street, and that was a delight and fun itself. You know, there was working girls all over the place.
Checkers were down there.
Checkers. Checkers. There's something we haven't talked about today. Checkers was a famous club.
Well, that was in Liverpool Street.
Yeah, right. Yeah, very famous. My mum and grandparents and lots of people. I believe there was a shooting there years ago.
But I used to have a club on top of that building called the Sky Lounge.
Oh wow!
There was music the whole city.
How did that go? How many clubs have you done? Like a dozen plus? Yeah. In that vicinity.
Yeah. That one went really well.
And the Kinsellas, my God, that was like legendary, you know.
Kinsellas went through a few incarnations.
Yeah.
Like it was like Leon Fink had it at first.
Yeah, right.
He was like a property developer, and then somebody else got it, and a friend of mine got it, and then somebody else. It just kept going on.
Yeah.
And then somebody bought it about 3 years ago.
Right.
Then they resold it for triple the money about a year ago. It's like, okay, now it's just real estate.
Yeah, money these days, and the money talks, doesn't it? It's all about money.
The person that bought Kinsellas, I bumped into them in the street, and I said, I bought some things, and I said, oh right, and I thought, I bought a car.
Yeah.
And he said, no, I bought the Oxford Hotel, King Cellars, the Brighton Up Bar.
Fucking
And I
hell.
thought, this is just one guy.
What, did he win the lotto, or is he a successful entrepreneur type fella? Yeah.
Yeah, he owns a city bank.
Oh, right.
But it's
Very interesting. Well,
but there was Macca in this place. We went down. It was exclusive place just across here.
yeah.
I remember going down there with Keanu Reeves, Quentin Tarantino, Lawrence Fishburne.
I met Keanu Reeves myself, actually,
he's
on the
great.
first.
He's a great
Lovely,
person, yeah.
lovely fella.
Oh,
I met him on the first, what was it, Matrix.
Yeah, that's when I met him.
So I was working in Margaret Street, and that shot where he's out on the ledge, I saw the rap on that.
Yeah, yes.
And he was a very nice guy. He got about $12 million on that first one.
Great guy, yeah.
And well, he was about 5'10" and very thin, but the nicest guy.
Yeah, no,
he fell
I
asleep
remember.
right next to me. Yeah.
Well, I remember
Really
they
nice
were
fella.
having cocaine, right?
Yeah,
And he said, "There's no cocaine in this cocaine."
yeah.
Can you imagine him doing that? Yeah, and he's just like, "What is it?"
Lovely. He was really hard on himself too.
Yeah,
Like
no, he
he forgot a lot of lines.
Yeah,
And he'd get shitty and fucking hit himself, and then he nearly knocked this girl over. And he felt so. He was so fucking nice to her, and it was just. Yeah, he was a really lovely fella. Yeah,
He's the kind of guy that had cat hair on his coat.
Yeah, yes. And he's not. Yeah, well, he's not your typical Hollywood bullshit. He was like, "Fuck you,
No,
I want to stay out of that shit."
Okay.
Yeah, very nice.
But I remember walking up here from somewhere with Lawrence Fishburne, right? And we're walking
He was
along.
in the Matrix as well.
Yeah.
He was. Yeah.
And people would keep coming up to him.
Yep.
And saying, "I loved you in Pulp Fiction. I loved you in Pulp Fiction."
And it was, yeah. Right. Thank you, but it wasn't me. Yeah.
And it was like, I said, "See, I get this all the time."
Yeah. Yeah,
Because he was of the same colour.
Yeah, that's right. African American.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah. Samuel, that's right. He did play a great part.
But originally he was Cowboy Curtis. You know the cowboy guy?
Wealth of knowledge area. Look, we're going to have to wrap this up.
That was my nickname. I called him Cowboy Curtis. Everybody else called him Fish. But I called him Curtis.
Beautiful. Well, look, we might have to wrap this up. We've done. We've given you a taste, and we're going to do more of this King's Cross Tales because it really is something.
Well, there is quite a lot to talk about because there's the Bayswater Motel, which is in Bayswater Road, and all these bands used to live there.
Oh, mate,
it was amazing. It's just like everywhere you went, because it's the only protected environment anybody comes to.
Yeah.
There were artists.
There was in the 80s, I was in the army for a few years, and there was a Canberra International. Canberra, I think it was there, yeah. And we spent we had 4 days leave, stand down, and we basically spent it here. And we spent our whole pay.
You didn't have to go anywhere else.
We couldn't, and honestly, we were shagging and drinking and partying like we wouldn't believe. But we got a room there, and it was just come, crash for a few hours, go back out, or someone to bring a girl or whatever. They were just good times, swingers. And anyway, we're going to wrap this up for today, but you wouldn't have seen the last of Ian. We want to do some more on King's Cross down the track, probably be around the February mark in that area. Thank you very much, Ian, for coming in and helping us out today with some sights. There's a whole lot more. We've chipped on the iceberg, swingers, and I wish everyone Merry Christmas. We'll be back sometime in January. We've done a little promo for the Christmas bit there, and there's a sexy girl involved. So all the best, swingers. Thank you to all our subscribers, 525, 26. We are grateful. We're over halfway. We've got a ways to go, but we're not giving up. We haven't made a cracker. It's setting me broke, but I'll be broke with a smile, mate. You know. So, and so we'll see you all soon in January. Thank you so much, Marcus, John Killick, and everyone that's been on. We're most grateful, and we'll see you all soon. Merry Christmas. Have a good one. Have a safe one.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Bye.
Bye.
G'day swingers, and welcome to Macca's Old School. That was episode 35. We hope you enjoyed that. We split that one up and did a half-half. So up at King's Cross, it was a bit controversial, but we love controversy. This is our final episode for this year, number 35, so it's also our Christmas episode. As you can see, we got our Coles stuff here. We are joined by our second promotional girl today, the lovely Hunter Rose.
Hello, how are you?
She's fantastic. We're surrounded by hunters, but we had Hunter, now we have Hunter Rose, and of course, a big part of the show and our regular Mr John Killick has joined us today as well. So today we're going to have a bit of a chit chat about that show. We've got a lot of people to thank for this year. We've had a busy year. Thank you guys. We're at 523, so we're a little over halfway. We're on the creep to the 1,000, and good people like right here are going to help us.
We're going to get you to that 1,000.
There you go.
It's going to happen.
It's going to get that.
I'm going to get you there.
Exactly.
We will have a huge party when that happens.
We're going to have a big party when that happens. But this is like our Christmas.
Wheelchair, but
you won't be in a wheelchair, mate. I think I'll be in a wheelchair
I'll push you
before anyone.
around.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll push you around.
You're going to see heaps of Hunter Rose today, swingers as well, or heaps of, or less, or whatever.
Whatever.
You know? So that was a bit of a controversy one, a bit on that episode we just did.
Oh, okay. It's so weird that you call them swingers.
I know. I do.
I'm going to a party on New Year's with a bunch of swingers, so every time you say swingers, I smile but try not to smile.
Well, we're both reform swingers.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I'm starting the New Year's at a swingers party, so every time you say swingers, I get this little giggle inside.
Yeah. So you can summarise your thoughts, John, on the episode we just had. The first half was quite controversial. We love controversy. And we think that this was definitely not right. John?
Well, I think we've agreed that over a period of time we're going to show various cases. So we showed Ryan and Walker, and a lot of people did agree that that decision was probably wrong.
Yeah.
And this one, we say definitely that the judiciary got it wrong. We feel that we demonstrated that. But we're not making accusations. We're putting the facts up, and we're asking you to give your thoughts on it, you to make your decision on what you see, and don't be influenced by what was in the media, because now we've put all the facts there, we've demonstrated how it really went down, and you make a decision from there. And
the media avoided it, didn't they, John? I mean, a lot like...
Well, the first decision, as you know...
Whether it's Donna or Ronald Ryan or Leanne Franchi.
The media avoid a lot.
Well, they do. They do. They avoid the facts, and this is why we're trying to get
the
more
media
facts.
were responsible for Ronald Ryan hanging. There's no doubt about it, and the Premier. But that was a long time ago. But that was... They got it so wrong, that was the last excuse in Australia. Now, we know the Leanne Franchi thing. I think we demonstrated there that there was a wrong decision there. And even the coroner, I think, indicated that. He wouldn't make a finding on it. And now we've demonstrated the facts. And what we've pointed out, that the first trial was they couldn't decide. So then they just shut them aside, and all of a sudden it's gone away. We have to admit that the prisoners' union, the prison officers' union, kicked up a stink about him being charged and what he was going through and his family were going through. They didn't point out what the dead guy's
that must have gone through hell.
And the thing is that all we've done is put up the facts, and we're sort of scratching our head a little and wondering how the hell they've come up with a not guilty verdict, even on manslaughter. And that's why we've demonstrated how it happened, how it went down, and it's up to you. We would like your thoughts on it and what you think about it. You be the judge.
Yeah, good on you, mate. Well said. Well said. That's fantastic. We don't usually get around in this shit, do we, guys?
Hell no.
It's not something I'd sort of head to the pub with. By the way, I haven't mentioned our third time here. We're at the fabulous Bayview Hotel in sunny downtown Gladesville, Sydney. This is the third time we've done it. We did Graham Abbo Henry upstairs. We've done another promo downstairs here. It's a great pub. One of the few.
The food smells amazing.
It's fantastic, mate. And one of the few that still have bands. Sydney, they have bands here, guys.
Yeah, I came here years ago.
Mate, it's been going since the 1870s. And
any crim who's ever been a crim
used to drink here. Lenny McPherson, Stan the Man, all the crims used to drink here over the years.
Yeah, I can't.
That's
I'm
right.
not the
It's a really fantastic pub, and they've always been supportive. The food's great, the staff's great, the publican's
They're
great.
so friendly with you.
Super friendly.
Down for a Macca's.
Well, they feel sorry for me. It's the nose and the height and whatever, but you know.
Sorry for me today. I'm the reindeer. I'm no longer the rose between two thorns.
You're going to see plenty more of Hunter Rose today, I tell you. And thank you, Seductive Strippers. They're our great friends as well. Heaps of thank you to that. Bella, fantastic Bella.
Sending
you
you all
got a bit of
the
Italian
hunters.
Bella. All right, guys, we'll see you shortly. Where the hell's John? I can't get a bloody hold of him, Marcus. Have you seen him? Where the hell is John? Christ.
Now, I'm with Hunter.
Yes, Santa.
Now, you know that I'm an old guy, but I do keep my word, right?
You do that. You do.
I'm going to give you 3 wishes.
Yep.
And I'm going to try and bring them all to fruition. Now, first one, what do you want?
Signed autograph of your next book.
Done. All right, that's easy. Next one?
500 more subscribers to Macca's Crime Podcast.
Well, if you wear a bikini, maybe we get 1,000. What do you
I
think?
will put that bikini on if we hit that 1,000.
Well, we're going to try and get 1,000.
1,000,
That's
yeah.
done. And last one.
New set of boobs, please, Santa. I've got to be selfish in some way.
Well, you don't need it, but we'll do it.
All right. Thank you. God, I did this like 10 years ago, waitressing in a bikini and pumps just
Cherry
like
boy.
this.
So we're at 500. What are we going to fucking do, mate? We've got to get to this 1,000.
I've got a couple of ideas.
Yeah.
Macca?
But you know.
Macca?
Yeah.
But excuse me, Macca.
Just won't be a sec, okay?
But, you know.
Yeah, just a sec,
Macca.
Hunter. Yeah, hang on a sec,
Excuse me,
sorry.
Macca.
We need something new.
Yeah,
Macca.
well, hi,
Boys,
welcome.
Merry Christmas.
I think we just got.
I think we just got our 1,000, John. Fucking hell.
Merry Christmas, boys.
Thank you very much. You seem a little overdressed, but
All right, I think we've had enough from John for today. I'm Hunter Rose. I want to talk to you a little bit about subscribing. It is free. When you hit that button, make sure you hit the like one. Tell your friends about us. We're currently at 35 videos at the moment, and I've watched 4. I've learnt a lot from John today, and I'm sure I'm going to learn a lot more. Again, hit like and subscribe. It's free. Come and see what other girls you can find. Macca.
Yeah.
Macca, babe.
Yes.
Mac.
Okay, what can we do? We've got to spitball a
seat.
few. Are you sure?
Call me Santa. Let's go.
Okay. What can we do? We've got to come up with a couple of ideas.
We can like and subscribe. That's for free.
There's a couple of
Tell
things.
your friends about us.
A couple of things coming to mind straight away, but fantastic. We'll keep working on it. Guys, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much. Macca's Old School.
It costs nothing to like and subscribe, swingers. We're here for you. Be here for us.
Aussie Crime and Time. Click, click.
Stay there.
Yep.
Just talk.
How does it feel sitting on Santa's lap, Daddy?
It feels wonderful sitting on... Come and sit on Santa's face. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful experience for a middle-aged little geriatric man. Welcome back, swingers. This is our final bit. This is a bit like a Christmas party gathering for us. I want to thank everyone this year that's been so supportive of us. Graham Abbo Henry, Gary Page, Harry June, Toby Zotes, John Killick, of course, Brad Nicolaides, what a great guy, Mark Lee, Bevan, who else am I forgetting, John? Russell Manser, he's done 2 parts for us. Ray Mooney, fantastic, and I'll be in touch soon, Ray, as well. Everyone that's helped us out. Donna Deeves, of course, Blondie from Queensland. Everyone that's been so supportive this year, I hope I haven't missed anyone. We are grateful. We're at 523. We're going to get our 1,000
We're getting
soon.
the 1,000. We're getting the 1,000.
Toby, I said Toby Zotes.
Bella.
Bella.
Dr.
This is
Strippers.
Nick. Fantastic staff here
Bayview
at Bayview.
Hotel.
Live music. Love the Bayview. 3rd gig we've done here. We'll be back soon. Marcus needs a holiday as well, and so he'll be going away. We'll be back sometime in January, and we've got a huge plan of a show in January, and that's all we'll say. We've got a lot of plans there. It could be a really, really good one. Thanks so much, swingers. Thanks, the subscribers, everyone. Everyone that's helped us out. We're so grateful. Thank you, and we wish
see
you
you in the
a
new
Merry
year.
Christmas. Thank you very much, Hunter Rose, who's lovely. Cheers. We'll see you in the new year. and they've got plenty more to come. Plenty more to come. 35 down, 3,500 to go. Thanks very much. Merry Christmas. Thank you. Thank you. Love to bathe you.